There is a kind of loneliness that destroys you, but there is also a kind of solitude that builds you. And most people cannot tell the difference. They feel one quiet night alone, one weekend without plans, one phone with no new message, and immediately they think something is wrong. So they run into relationships they are not ready for. They run back to people who already hurt them. They run into attention, distraction, scrolling, talking, texting, chasing, anything to avoid sitting alone with themselves. But what if being single is not the punishment you think it is? What if this season is not proof that nobody wants you? What if this season is protection, preparation, training? What if life has removed the noise so you can finally hear yourself clearly? Stoicism teaches a powerful truth. A person who cannot be alone peacefully will always be easy to control. Control them with affection. Control them with silence. Control them with attention. Control them with fear of abandonment. Because if your peace depends on another person constantly choosing you, then your mind is not fully yours. So no, staying single is not about rejecting love. It is not about becoming cold. It is not about pretending you do not need anyone. It is about becoming whole before you attach your life to someone else. Because love should add to you. It should not rescue you from yourself. The first lesson is this: being single shows you where you are still dependent. When there is no one to text every hour, no one to validate your appearance, no one to distract you from your thoughts, you begin to see what you were using relationships to avoid. Maybe you were avoiding boredom. Maybe you were avoiding insecurity. Maybe you were avoiding the painful question, who am I when nobody is choosing me? That question is uncomfortable, but it is also powerful. Because once you can sit with yourself without panic, you become harder to manipulate. You stop accepting disrespect just to avoid silence. You stop chasing people who give you half attention. You stop confusing temporary comfort with real love. A person who fears loneliness will often choose the wrong company, but a person who has learnt solitude can choose carefully. They no longer ask, who will save me from being alone? They ask, who deserves access to the peace I have built? That is strength. The second lesson is this: staying single gives you your attention back. A relationship can be beautiful, but the wrong relationship can scatter your mind. You wake up thinking about their mood. You work while checking their replies. You change your plans around their availability. You analyze messages. You replay conversations. You lose hours to anxiety and emotional guessing, and slowly your goals become secondary. Your discipline becomes unstable. Your energy becomes divided. But when you are single, there is no excuse. Your time returns to you. Your mornings return to you. Your focus returns to you. Now the question becomes, what will you build with all this energy? Will you waste it scrolling and complaining, or will you use it to become stronger? This is where many people fail. They say they want love, but they do not use their single season to become someone capable of loving well. They do not build discipline. They do not heal old wounds. They do not learn emotional control. They do not create a life with direction. Then they enter a relationship and expect another person to fix the emptiness they refused to face. Do not waste your single season. Use it. Train your body, strengthen your mind, fix your habits, improve your income, build your purpose. Read, pray, journal, learn, create. Become someone your future self will thank you for becoming. The third lesson is this: being single teaches you the difference between desire and need. It is normal to want love. It is normal to want connection. It is normal to want someone beside you. Stoicism does not ask you to deny human nature, but there is a dangerous difference between wanting love and needing someone to feel complete. When you need someone, you become negotiable. Your standards become flexible. Your boundaries become weak. Your dignity becomes something you trade for attention. You start saying yes when your soul says no. You start forgiving without change. You start calling anxiety passion. You start calling inconsistency mystery. You start calling emotional hunger love. But when love becomes a choice, not a survival need, everything changes. You can love deeply without clinging. You can give affection without begging for it back. You can walk away from disrespect without feeling like your life is ending. That is not coldness. That is freedom. The fourth lesson is this: single life reveals your unfinished wounds. Many people do not miss a person. They miss the feeling of being distracted from their pain. They miss the routine, the message, the voice, the emotional noise. But when the noise disappears, the wound becomes visible. That is why solitude feels heavy at first. Not because being alone is bad, but because you are finally meeting the parts of yourself you kept postponing. This is where healing begins, not in another person's arms, not in another temporary attachment, not in another late-night conversation that makes you feel wanted for a few hours. Healing begins when you stop outsourcing your peace. Sit with the discomfort. Name what hurt you. Write down what you keep repeating. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to feel? What pattern keeps bringing me back to the same kind of person? What did I tolerate because I was scared to be alone? These questions may not feel good, but they make you free. The fifth lesson is this: staying single teaches you to raise your standards without becoming bitter. Some people get hurt and say, "I will never love again." That is not strength. That is fear wearing armor. Stoicism does not teach bitterness. It teaches discernment. You do not close your heart. You sharpen your judgment. You do not hate people. You stop ignoring red flags. You do not become impossible to reach. You become harder to misuse. There is a difference. A wise single person does not spend every day attacking relationships. They simply refuse to enter one from weakness. They do not need someone to complete their identity. They do not need constant attention to feel valuable. They do not enter love as a beggar. They enter it as a whole person, calm, grounded, selective, ready to give, but not desperate to be chosen. That kind of person is rare, and rare people do not rush into every open door. The sixth lesson is this: your single season is not empty, it is sacred. This is the season where you learn how to govern yourself, how to wake up without needing someone else to motivate you, how to make decisions without seeking constant approval, how to manage your emotions without using another person as medicine, how to enjoy your own company without feeling abandoned by the world, how to become proud of the life you live when nobody is watching. Do not treat this season like a waiting room. You are not waiting for love to begin your life. Your life is already happening. And if you waste this time waiting to be chosen, you may enter love with nothing solid to bring. But if you use this time wisely, one day you will not search for someone out of emptiness. You will recognize someone from clarity, someone who respects your peace, someone who adds depth to your life, someone who does not require you to abandon yourself to stay close. And if that person has not arrived yet, that does not make your life incomplete. It means you still have time to build. The final lesson is this: love yourself enough not to rush into what weakens you. Do not enter a relationship because you are bored. Do not return to someone because the night feels lonely. Do not lower your standards because everyone around you seems taken. Do not let society convince you that being single means being behind. Some people are in relationships and still deeply lonely. Some people sleep beside someone every night and still feel unseen. Some people have a partner but no peace. So do not measure your life by appearances. Measure it by your character. Are you becoming calmer? Are you becoming stronger? Are you becoming more honest? Are you becoming more disciplined? Are you becoming someone who can love without losing themselves? That is the real work. So if you are single right now, do not see it as rejection, see it as responsibility. This is your time to become someone you respect. Your time to break patterns, your time to build peace, your time to stop needing noise to feel alive, your time to become whole. Because the strongest love is not found by someone who is desperate to escape loneliness. It is found by someone who has already made peace with themselves. And when love finally comes, they do not cling to it like a lifeline. They welcome it like a choice, calmly, wisely, freely. So be patient, be disciplined, be selective, build your life so deeply that love becomes a beautiful addition, not a desperate escape. Because a person who belongs to themselves first can never be owned by anyone else.